This is Crime Cruise, Love Boat Exposed.
Saturday on the Love Boat.
The podcast that hunts down and tears apart shenanigans on this classic TV show.
I see an awful lot of bodies who really have nothing to be ashamed of.
When laws, morals, and behavior go rogue.
She's a student of marine biology, and I know a lot of Marines who like to study her biology.
We are there.
Saturday on the Love Boat, Julia's game to join an all-male club, but she's shocked at the things they ask her to do.
Now, from Studio 109, welcome aboard.
I think it's time you and I got to know each other better. A man is very lonely at sea.
Yes, I can imagine.
This is Crime Cruise, Love Boat Exposed. We're in season 2 and we're jumping right into episode 5. I am one of your hosts, Rob Springer.
And I'm Charlotte Jones.
And not to be outspoken, producer Caleb, how are you?
I'm doing good. Good day, guys. Yeah,
Hey.
glad to be here.
Good day. Well, it's another week here, Love Boat Exposed. I gather we'll have new crimes, new hijinks, always.
Always hijinks.
Yeah.
Shenanigans and tomfoolery.
So we've had kind of an interesting journey in season 2. Gilligan's Island infused episodes, 2 of them. A man on the island seizes a woman off the boat, never lets her go, and has a sex slave. And no less, it's Mrs. Roper.
It is Miss Roper.
Those were 2 episodes. And then we jumped over to a Mr. Roper episode
Yep.
where apparently Mr. Roper is Julie's father.
Yes.
Yes, and we also learned that Julie is in some continuing downward spiral where she's basically losing her touch on reality. She's losing her grasp on reality.
Yeah, for sure.
So, producer Caleb, first of all, how are you out there west of us?
Yeah, it's going good. I'm very, very cold. Snow just doesn't stop.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible, but I love the snow, so it is what it is.
Okay, well, I will let the audience in on a secret or two. We were just discussing a number of things, and they're wondering what I'm going to talk about.
I'm wondering what you're going to talk
Oh,
about.
gosh, there's so much.
Get that itchy finger button ready. or I'll be
Right,
after.
exactly.
That's right. No, just this. Producer Caleb had a very late night out last night.
Oh, yeah, because he's a party animal.
He is surely he is. I mean,
Yeah.
just look at him.
He
over there.
rages.
Right. He had a rager, in fact. And I don't know that he woke up but a few minutes ago.
That's
and
okay. He's allowed. He's 21 years old.
So let's, as an audience, we'll just judge his performance.
You're just gonna judge me today because I'm
we're
half
judging.
asleep.
Yeah, we're judging
Okay,
you.
perfect.
You've entered the judging corner.
Okay. So, all right, producer Caleb, you pulled clips from episode 5. What the hell are we about to see? Just any general thought? Are we going to have orphans? Are we going to have priests, rabbis, jokes?
Can I just read a review from IMDb? Would
Yes.
that be okay? This one is called "Rape Scene So Funny?" ?
Uh-oh.
Is anybody going to mention the elephant in the room here? What we have here is basically a rape scene. A man engages in relentless, non-consensual touching, which no one seems to care about, so long as the victim tries to play nice and not rock the boat, making anyone uncomfortable by speaking up, hoping that politeness will eventually save the day when pervy, self-entitled men take advantage and use politeness as permission to keep pawning and groping at someone who's just keeping her job. Eventually, things get to the point where Julie is actually fighting off a sexual assault. All this makes great hilarity at the expense of the victim. Seems like just another day at the office of the lives of the powerless, just trying to pay the bills. A few decades later, we see this for what it is. Men thinking anything in front of them has been laid out for their pleasure. Too sickening to watch, so I don't know if the pig got his well-deserved roasting.
Oh my
2
God.
stars.
Well, first of all, I like to say that she was whoever wrote the review. I like that she put in there that she wasn't going to rock the boat. That was pretty clever.
Right.
But I'm really interested to see what these clips are because it sounds like this is a beefy one.
This
I
episode
should have said
is,
beef when it's talking about sexual pressure, but whatever. Beefy. It sounds beefy.
There is a lot of clips this episode. It's gonna be a long one.
All right, let's do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we will break this into 2 shows just to keep the audience engaged and on the end of
Oh,
their
I like this
seats.
idea,
And,
Rob.
Charlotte, did you write that letter?
No, I did not, but it sounds like something I would have written.
Well, We broke our own rules. We talked a little bit about what we're going to see, but for good reason, because I think we want to anticipate what's coming up.
I know. I like to be prepared for possible throwing up in my mouth.
God, all right, guys. Well,
Wash it down with a lemonade.
here we go.
Hello. Sandra, I love you more beautiful than ever. But unfortunately, I see you're married to the tip of a publisher. And who is this fair nymph of the sea?
Julie McCoy, your cruise director, and Miss Gopher Smith, your person.
Honor, Mr. Littlejohn. I've read every one of your books.
Oh, yes. Well, here's the autograph. Yes, thank you. All right. Let the festivities begin. Sandra, what say you, Julie, and I pop some bubbly while the old man puts away the bag?
Too early for me.
Fine. Then, Julie, my darling, I guess it's you and me.
I
know you work to take care of the passengers. I'm
He's groping.
taken care of.
Yes, he is. And he has a wedding ring on. I just want to point that out. He has a wedding ring on as he is groping her, and apparently he's a famous individual. Is he famous because the person?
He's an author, like a very famous author, and the
okay.
other guy is the publisher.
Okay.
Little story context. The publisher is trying to publish his book, but he's like behind one chapter, and so he invited the author on the boat to finish the chapter. And the second the author gets on board, he's like, "Dang, my publisher's here, but whew, his wife is something else. Hey, how about you and me? We go and
oh my God, I hate this
have a
guy.
little canoodling."
Well, this was Richard Mulligan, the guy we're hearing, and he was in season 1. He was Bert on Soap, the ABC TV series. So last time around, he played a marriage doctor.
Yes,
Remember?
he did. He played a marriage therapist. You're right.
A marriage therapist.
That's
Marriage
right.
doctor, is there such a thing?
Yes.
Marriage therapist, and he was a nice guy last time around.
Well, he's showing his what is it called? His spectrum of acting
Yes.
is what he's doing. But I mean, gross.
His acting flexibility.
So does he think that since he's like semi-famous and a famous author and whatever, he can just do whatever he wants, apparently, because he's just literally groping Julie in front of everybody,
And he called
including his publisher. Like his publisher must know that he's married, right?
Absolutely, he would. And he called her a nymph, you little nymph, he said to her. And Julie seems like she's going to be like bait in chummed waters on this episode.
Well, at the beginning, it looked like she was a little bit starstruck, but I can see that starting to probably dissipate as the storyline continues.
She kind of like recoiled when the author like held her hand and then slowly just like caressed her, like the top of her arm. She was like, ugh.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, guys, we'll just roll this.
Timmy?
Oh, I don't believe it.
What's it been? 6 years?
Oh, at least.
I'm surprised you remember me.
Are you kidding? Forget the girl I took to the senior prom? You look terrific, Wanda.
Oh, it's Allison this morning. Dad, I'm sorry.
Jim Lauren. Used to play sax, drive a 32 Ford with a broken muffler.
And that's quite a memory.
So I put this clip in for a very specific reason. Our listeners wouldn't pick it up, but if you watch the young man's eyes, he sees this lady that he hasn't seen since high school, and he makes eye contact, like, "Oh hey," and the second his eyes dart down, and it's just staring at her chest the whole time. And then her father comes over, and once again, eyes are straight back up, looking in his eyes, showing respect. But the second he looks at her, it's straight chest. That's all he's looking at.
Poor Eric Estrada. That was Eric Estrada and Mackenzie Phillips, correct?
Those were the two. You know it. They were both icons. And
well, Eric Estrada, Chips. My grandmother used to park me in front of Chips when she was babysitting me. I remember watching that as a kid. Poncho, right?
Absolutely.
His Poncho.
John Poncherelli Poncho. Yes. Right. He was Casanova on that show. He had that big sort of smile, very bright, a big toothy grin, I guess you could say. And he still has it. And you know what? He's still out there moving around. He does a lot of independent, low-budget films, and many of them Christian films.
Oh, wow. Actually. And you know that guy that played the other dude, the Robert Pine character? Isn't his grandson Chris Pine, the actor?
On the show Chips.
No, Chris Pine is his child. I just looked it up.
That's correct. Richard Pine?
Yes, Richard Pine.
I remember every episode of Chips, he was always the captain, and he was kind of a nice guy most of the time, but he has a very similar look to his son.
Very similar.
So Mackenzie Phillips' dad is played in this scene by Alan Ludden. Who is he? He was a game show host, I think maybe Password, the show Password, and he was married to Betty White for many years.
And we all know Mackenzie Phillips is the daughter from Mamas and the Papas.
Yes, we do. Yes. And was she on season 1?
I feel like we've seen Mackenzie Phillips before.
I think she was on our last season. Big star.
Let's not talk about her real relationship with her daddy. Let's just blow past that.
Big star of One Day at a Time with Valerie Bertinelli and Bonnie Franklin.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing about the mamas and the papas.
Right. And her sister is China Phillips of Wilson Phillips. Sorry, I know all this useless information.
And China Phillips is married to
Billy Baldwin?
Yes.
One of the Baldwins.
And aren't they like, yeah, I think they're really very religious.
Probably. That's what happens to people when they feel like they have to turn their life around.
You know what I haven't heard, even if you're listening to this episode, in the summer or the fall or something like that, we are around Christmas time. And speaking of China Phillips, she was in a band called Wilson Phillips.
Yep.
And they had a good number of Christmas songs. And
really?
I haven't heard any of them this year.
I don't like Christmas music, period. It makes me want to...
Okay, producer Caleb, you and Christmas music. What's the story? What do you like? What do you hate?
Not a fan.
See?
Not a fan.
He's on my
closed
team.
it down.
The Mariah Carey song, I could care less.
Oh,
I
that's
freaking hate that song.
Ugh.
That's awful. Any and every kind of Christmas song, because of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas, has been ruined.
Right. Okay.
She did it for you, huh?
She did. She really did.
Ruined Christmas. Mariah Carey ruined Christmas.
She frequently does. We've
Good
Scrooged
Lord.
out in this episode. Here we go, guys.
Allison, this is Brad Collins of Collins Machinery. Brad, this is my daughter, Alan.
Nice to meet you.
It's Mackenzie
Well,
Phillips.
Martin, I can see it's going to be a great pleasure doing business with you. As soon as I check in, I'll drop by your cabin.
We'll see you then.
You bet you will.
Gross.
Creepy. What's going on there? You bet you will.
Gross.
Where's this leading? Where is
I
this?
don't know, but who says that stuff in front of someone's dad? And like looks someone up and down and is like, oh, doing business with you is, I mean, did they like have a secret side deal where like he said, you can have my daughter if you do business with me? Like, I kind of like sounded like a little dowry thing.
I think that's what he's thinking. It's definitely what the business
it's
guy's
definitely what the
assuming.
underlining message was, for sure. Maybe the dad just didn't hear it. No, I don't know.
He's selective then. It's a lot of daughter whoring in this episode here. Onward.
Afternoon, ma'am. Boss to the main. Well, it's good to see the ship is ship shape and the girl's a girl shape.
Oh, God.
Foster,
Red
we're
button.
very happy to see you. We've been expecting you. Not every day we get to entertain the captain's favorite uncle. I'm Julie McCoy, your cruise director.
My cruise director? Ooh, I hope the other passengers get one just as nice as you.
Julie, I want you and the crew to outdo yourselves. He gets the red carpet treatment.
Will there be enough room on the carpet for both of us?
Oh, God.
Foster, Foster.
It's Uncle Cyrus. Welcome to the family. And it's a very loving family.
Gross. He already gives me creepy, rapey vibes already.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Like the fact that someone would say that. Is there enough room in front of your boss?
He's being endorsed by the captain once again.
I know, it's so unbelievable.
It's the captain's uncle, The captain just thinks, oh, he's just being all lighthearted and funny little jokes. Oh, that's just my creepy uncle. It's whatever.
Every family has one. Every family has a creepy uncle.
Well, everyone heard every single thing he said, and all of it was lecherous.
It was gross.
I think we could see where the rape scene is going to come from, but it could come from any direction.
Dude,
on
I
this
don't know if it's coming
episode.
from the author or from this uncle.
Yeah, so far Julie has been put through the ringer. She's got
She has.
two dudes ready to pounce on
And
her.
the boat hadn't even left the dock yet. They're literally
we
still
haven't even
boarding the
set sail.
freaking boat. Speaking of, have you guys noticed that in the new Princess Cruise commercials, they've started playing the Love Boat song?
No.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure when they started airing,
didn't.
but I recently saw them when I was watching the History Channel, Ancient Aliens. And they had, it was a Princess Cruise commercial, and I've seen it a few times since then. But now they're playing the Love Boat song.
Do they know? Do they know?
Do they know what actually happened? That's what I want to know.
Well,
Well, it hasn't been so
someone should send
loving
them
so
this
far.
episode.
Okay.
Do they know it's Christmas time at all?
They might not.
I don't know.
They're out to sea, Rob.
All right, okay, guys. I'm a little afraid to hit the play button because I don't
I'm
know
a little
what I'm going to
afraid
get
too.
hit with.
Well, let's just get
It just goes downhill.
Oh, God.
All right, it's Richard Mulligan. A girl's running away from her husband. A woman's running away from her husband who's trying a crossword puzzle.
Hello. A little Irish.
Mark, why don't you go back to your writing? The sooner you finish your book, the sooner Al can relax and enjoy the cruise.
Forget Alfred. Forget him. I'm relaxed, you're relaxed. We'll enjoy the cruise. Let's go forward and get ourselves a little wind in our faces.
It'll be cold.
No, the drink inside you. I want one drink.
Okay, one drink.
One drink.
That's his publisher's wife, correct?
Yeah. That is going to be one long drink.
So he basically shoos a woman away from her husband, who's not paying attention because he's doing a crossword. Yeah. And then they go over to the
husband's
bar.
working. The husband's reading the book. He's trying to get through the book so he can publish it.
I thought I said he was doing a crossword puzzle.
Oh, well, he's doing something where he's preoccupied. Right. And then author boy, Richard Mulligan, calls her over and then says, hey, let's go get a drink. And then grabs an entire bottle of wine from Isaac.
Yeah. And then it's like, just one drink, Just one drink. Let's loosen up and enjoy the moment.
And Richard Mulligan, he was slurring. He was like, hey. He was like maybe overacting.
He's definitely not writing his last chapter right now. He is definitely drinking and having a good time. He's not going to write the last chapter.
Gosh. All right.
Hi. Oh, compliments of the captain. I sure hope you're
Julie
hungry.
with the old man.
I am.
Bringing flowers.
It's no fun stuffing myself alone. Will you help me?
No, I really shouldn't.
Oh, just...
Well, all right, for a minute, sure.
Oh, would you like to see some pictures of my grandchildren?
I'd love to.
So would I, but I don't have any.
He pushed her to the bed.
Yes.
Kissed her. Kissing her.
Mr. Foster, please.
Kissing her
You don't have to
arm.
beg. It's my pleasure.
Mr. Foster, what are you doing?
In my day, dear, this was known as bussing.
In my day, it's called forced busing.
He jumps her.
Cute. I love a woman who combines humor with passion.
What? Here, eat an apple.
Forget the apple, Eve. I'm already tempted. Darling, come here.
Hi, kid.
Hi yourself.
The doc.
What's up?
The captain's uncle just made a pass at me. Can you believe that?
Well, sure.
Oh, my...
Well, you're not a bad-looking girl.
So she went to the dude for help, and then he's just like, oh, you're being a silly woman.
Yeah. I would expect nothing less from Doc.
Like, it's also mind-boggling from the Doc, because last season when Julie was like, hey, why haven't you, made a pass at me? And Doc was like, you're just my little sister, I love you like a sister. I couldn't do that. That's horrendous. I would never do or think about that. And the second some really old dude is like, creeping on Julie, and Julie's like, Doc, this is going on. He's like, of course it's going on. Why wouldn't it go on? You're a freaking babe.
Yeah, that's a little contradictory, all of it, huh? He's been at sea too long. Now the doctor is totally into compromise.
Well, that was quite a visual. What would you explain to the audience that we saw? Because it was pretty graphic in its way. What happened to Julie with the old dude?
Well, I mean, the old dude just started kissing her arm and everything. And when she was like, what are you doing? He was like, oh, no, it's my pleasure. Don't worry about it. Like, no. Like, she was like, no, a few times.
There must have been about 12, 15 kisses there, right up her arm, right to her shoulder.
Yeah.
And then he jumped
over her.
He tried to jump on her, but she moved quickly, and he landed on the bed.
That's where her youth comes in. He's like 1,000 years old, and she's like 22.
We'll be right back with more Love Boat Exposed. Go to loveboatexposed.com to send us a message, leave a voicemail, or learn more about the show and our team. Who knows? You might just be invited to the captain's table.
It's a pleasure to welcome you aboard. I'm speaking for my entire crew.
I don't know that I want to be invited to the captain's table.
I don't know if I want to either now. It sounds kind of gross.
Pushing his uncle on Julie?
Yeah.
Oh, where does it go? Where does it land? Here's where it lands.
Hi, Dad. Mr. Collins.
Brad, please.
Mackenzie Phillips and
This
Erica
is Jim
Strada.
Lawrence, an old friend of mine.
Hi, Jim.
Lawrence? Well, what do you say the three of us play a little blackjack before dinner?
I don't know how to play.
You stick with me, honey, and I'll teach you everything you ever need to know.
Oh, God, patriarchy.
Well, I think I'll change for dinner first.
Don't be too long. I'm going to need you to help me count my winnings.
So you hurry along, honey.
Jimmy, you want to come with us?
No, you go ahead. I'd just be in the way. Business before pleasure.
First of all, business before pleasure is ridiculous. I'm not sure who came up with that, but that slogan needs to go away.
Yeah.
Like, for sure. Who wants to be on their deathbed and say, oh, I'm so happy I put business before pleasure. I'm so happy I bought all this useless shit that I can't take with me.
Well, deathbed, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, that's a given. You're right. You don't want to be there in the deathbed saying, I should have just worked more.
Right. I should have just spent more time in the office. And making the CEO millions of dollars a year where you're getting like, I don't know, $25 an hour. Pleasure before business. We're just going to change it.
Well, that was Grant Goodeve, the guy who is pulling Mackenzie Phillips away from Eric Estrada. He was on last season too. He was on 8 is Enough. He's a forgetful guy. I don't remember what he played last time around, but I did remember telling you all a story of an audition I had, and I was like in the running to be in a Hallmark movie.
That's right. Oh, you would be blowing it up this Christmas if you were in Hallmark movies, Rob.
All 47 of this season's Hallmark Christmas movies.
Right, which include 3 actors and 2 story writers. That's about it. They write all of them.
The girl has a big city guy that comes into town, or the girl goes to the country from the big city.
Exactly. It's one or the other.
I'll spare us plot lines from Hallmark movies, and we'll just hit the big play button.
Al says your autobiography is going to be a smash.
I haven't a clue how to finish it.
How can you write a whole book and not know how it ends?
It is an autobiography, you know. I'm not quite dead yet.
He's drinking.
Well, no, if I were on a cruise with a beautiful woman, I wouldn't spend my time reading how another man makes love.
Oh? And what would you do?
Ho, 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 ho.
Oh, God.
You better dare.
I know that now. You promised Pippi that after your drink you'd go back to your cabin.
Well, I'd like to, but not alone.
I don't intend to be another chapter in your book.
Well, think about it, Sandra. Oh, I'd love to immortalize you.
Gross.
Oh, I bet he would.
I bet he would immortalize you. I don't like how she said, well, what would you do on a cruise? And he was like, like Gaston or whatever those people they call them in France. I would take you to the room and tie you up and never let you out.
Producer Caleb, is that what they do in France?
It is, yeah.
That's exactly how they do it?
That's exactly how they do it, yeah. I escaped like at least 20 of those happening to me.
Uh-oh.
I just had a bunch of people go,
all the time. Just
it's like hiding in the bush, you know, just walking late at night and you just see, so you cross the street and avoid that bush.
Yeah, I would avoid that bush too, Caleb. If a girl came behind a bush going, I'd be like, I'd avoid that bush like the plague. All bushes.
We've heard 2 France-based stories from producer Caleb.
Yeah. He left his mark on that country for sure. We got 25 seasons of a Love Boat to do. He has time to tell all of the stories. Yes.
And here we go.
Hey, everybody. How about coming down to my cabin tonight for a little birthday party?
I don't know it's a birthday.
It's not.
It's the old man.
It's somebody's birthday.
Julie's
9 o'clock, okay? Oh, no presents, please. Maybe a little watch.
How about you, Julie? You're coming to the party?
No, sir. I've got a big day tomorrow.
Well, so do I, but I wouldn't miss one of Si's parties for the world. See you at 9.
Oh, Captain winked at Julie, too.
Oh, come on, Julie. So the old man got a little impulsive this afternoon.
Oh, my God, I hate him.
Probably starved for affection.
Well, I'm not going to be part of his diet.
Don't worry. We're all going to be there. If Cyrus Foster so much as puckers his lips, we'll form a circle around you.
Besides, why hurt an old man's feeling?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go.
Atta girl.
Fateful.
But go easy on the lip gloss. You don't want to turn the old man on.
Oh, my God.
Well,
if he tries anything, we'll circle around you, but he's probably just starved for effect. Like,
come on.
What is so
Don't hurt his
ridiculous?
feelings.
What's so stupid is that people like seem to think that like dirty old men are just old men. They're not.
No.
They're like still capable of like doing disgusting things and being disgusting.
Of course. Well,
yeah, but you can't hurt his feelings. He's just an old guy, you know, Julie. You just got to let him do his thing.
Right. You need to keep your job, Julie. You need to let him do these things. And the captain's like, come on now. We'll see you there. I mean, like, you're not going to do something that your boss tells you to do, especially when you're stuck with him on a ship and he's already said he's going to keyhole you. I mean, let's just get down to brass tacks. What is she going to do?
Which direction will Julie get keyholed from? Is
exactly.
The question. And then the captain. Oh, no, we'll cut that right out.
No, wait,
no, keep that in.
The captain said all that, like demanded that she do that, and then he did wink to her. And Julie's like sacrificial at this point. So really, is it a wonder why Julie has a downward spiral?
No, of course not. And I don't know about you guys, but I've never had a boss wink at me.
No.
Never in my entire life.
No. It's hardcore, this episode.
Yeah. Which I'm glad we're doing too, because the next one's going to be beefy.
Well, we need to break it apart and digest it, you know.
With that said, this is the end of our episode, but not the end of this episode, season 2, episode 5, where it's so far easily the worst of all things that we've seen in season 2. It's vying for that honor of the worst, the sickest stuff, at least in terms of sexual harassment.
No. That priest episode, it's going to take a lot to get me past that one.
You're right. That's always going to be number 1, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then there was a strong number 2, wasn't there?
There's been lots of strong number 2s.
Well, this may be competing for
this. Might
2.
be, yeah.
All right, producer Caleb, what's your tagline here?
Well, I hope you guys enjoy. I'm excited to see this party next week. But all the listeners, if you like, subscribe, share with a friend. We'll see you on the Love Boat next week.
We're sailing away, but we will be back with a new episode of Crime Cruise, Love Boat Exposed. Make sure to subscribe. We're on all your favorite podcast platforms. And connect with us at loveboatexposed.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, but I have duties on the bridge. Good evening.